Hi, it's Maxine,
Zico,
and Conor.
and this is Slice of Pie.
a podcast where young people chat to musicians and guests about things we care about. Okay, so welcome back to the Slice of Pie podcast. Today we got the one and only Steph and Adam in the building.
Woo!
Woo.
Very much.
Yes, so what you guys been up to this month?
Oh, wow. That's such a big question. The most exciting thing I've done in the last month was taking my daughter to see some lambs being born in Dover. I've actually never experienced that before. The cute factor was pretty high. Like, they're really cute.
That's it.
And we got to hold them.
Did you pet them? Did you
Yeah,
actually, like,
we
stroke?
actually get to hold them. They were just like, and that was it.
The miracle of life.
The miracle of
you know,
life in our hands.
How about you, Adam?
Oh, me? I mean, I'm like counting down the days till I turn 25. So,
Ooh, anything planned for the big 25?
no, but there is a surprise. No, wait, no.
There's a surprise.
It's a
I know there's a surprise for me. I don't know what it is,
Oh.
but my girlfriend's just like, don't plan anything for the weekend.
Oh.
So, yeah, so
Romantic.
the things I haven't been able to plan anything. So everyone's like, what are you doing
And
for
your
birthday?
anxiety is increasing
Yeah.
day by day.
Yeah, and I'm like, but then I'm also making sure that people who might know don't say anything because I
you're
don't want
in
to
a
be
difficult position.
I don't want to be. I don't think they will, but I appreciate people with surprises and stuff. So
Do you like surprises?
I don't mind surprises. I like surprises.
Okay.
My girlfriend doesn't like surprises,
Okay.
but I get to kind of tease her for when I got her a surprise Christmas present like last year. I get to try and act like that to her now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
try to suss it out and be like, "You haven't got
Oh,
me."
how
yet."
the tables have turned.
Yeah, I'm like, you haven't got me anything. You're just saying that like she done to me. But it'll be fun. It's just like, but yeah, I've had to tell people, you do anything for your birthday? 25's a big one. I'm like, no, but yes, but no, because I don't know what.
So what do you
but-
want it to be, like the surprise? Everyone has that little...
Yeah, what's the dream?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what the
Oh, no,
dream
but if
is.
she hears this, then she'll be really gutted if it's not.
Yeah, but by the
anything
time it
close.
comes out, we can know if
But
you've
this-
got it.
It could be.
And then if you haven't got it, then it could be like, boom. Yeah.
But no, but then like saying what do you want your surprise to be is so vague because that could just be like
Okay,
you know.
do you want it to be food? Do you want it to be an event? Do you want it to be
An object.
relaxation? A project? A craft project?
It might be an object. Like,
Yeah,
it
do
might
you want
be
a material
PS5,
thing?
a TV.
all of them sound really fun. I'm not.
He's being very careful.
I'm not a fussy
He's not
person
setting
at
himself
all.
up.
I love food. I love relaxing when I can. I love to do stuff. I love to watch stuff and be entertained. So I'm not that fussy. So
Just a thought, should we explain who Adam is?
We've
just grilled him about his 25th.
Yeah, Adam, would you like to give yourself an introduction?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, myself. Okay, so.
And walk on music. Sing your own walk on music.
Oh, I can't sing on my own. But yeah, anyway. So my name's Adam. I am the program assistant at Pie Factory. I was originally an emerging artist from the, one of the programs that...
He was one of us.
Yeah, I was one of you lot from Zico and Conor, and Maxine and Claire and everyone else. And then I ended up taking on a role on the other side of things. And I've also been coming to Pie Factory for around 8 years on and off when I turned 18, 16, something like that. Kind of little person playing guitar, singing, trying to make beats and stuff. And now I'm working full time and enjoying it all and helping out where I can.
I'm still smiling.
And still smiling.
Fully evolved. That's what we like. And we've got Conor as well today.
Yeah, I'm also
He's
here.
here.
Hi, Connor.
How are you, Zico?
I'm not too bad. Have ups and downs as you go, but how are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've been pretty busy, but all right.
What have you been
Yeah.
busy with though?
Lots of things. I've been doing sound engineering.
Is it getting easier as you work though?
Yeah, I'm knowing more, and I've done like the last 2 weeks. I did some stuff on my own for the first time, which is cool.
Did you mess up though on the way?
I did. There was one.
Was
good
it a
one.
big mess up or was
There
it just
wasn't
a
a big.
little
Well,
one?
to be honest, right. I mean, I don't care if he hears it. Anyway, so I did something for Record Store Day, and the first guy turned up late, and I'd set up enough so it was all ready because I didn't know, because people didn't email me what they wanted. Of course they didn't.
Of course.
And so, well, I got a few to be fair, but not all of them. And the first guy was one of those people.
No names.
I don't even know what his name is.
So relevant.
He does not wish to care to remember either.
He was nice enough, but like I did make some mistakes. Like the PA wasn't turned on. That doesn't help. But like I don't know the sets. I don't know the setup at the venue yet. So it's kind of like I turned the subs on. And I assumed that would turn, I don't know. But that wasn't on, so his guitar sounded pretty awful for a while.
With no amplification.
Well, it was like, no, because I had the subs on, so just really
it was
bassy.
coming through the
like,
subs.
Can you turn the bass down on your guitar? And he's like, it's all off. I don't know. And he's already late, and it's running wrong. And then midway through his set, I realised, so on a desk, I don't know if you know, there's a button to pad things. So if it's too loud, you can pad it to like make it less loud, basically, in easy terms. And I realised at the desk someone had left one of those channels padded, so it sounded weird. So I decided to unclick the button midway through a song, which meant that it was really loud midway through one of his songs. But like the rest of it went pretty well, though.
Well, was the crowds like? Did anyone just like, oh my gosh, bloody hell?
Probably, yeah. I don't really care. Like, people need to get over the loud noises thing. Like, it's like when I'm checking some of the bands, I'm trying to find where the feedback is, which I've been taught to do, and that's quite loud sometimes. But people go, "Oh no, my ears!" Oh, it's like get over it. It's just a noise. Like I just when you're sound checking a band, not that I've done it myself much, but I've seen it loads now, where there's someone's like, oh, can you sing for me? And they start singing, and then you make it feedback because you're trying to find it so it doesn't feedback. And they stop singing. It's like, keep singing. I don't know why are you stopping? The feedback isn't a bad thing when you're sound checking.
The relationship between a sound engineer and a musician is always been a fascinating thing to me.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like we need to launch like a counselling service specifically for sound engineers from listening to Conor there.
Yeah, no,
don't you think?
I mean,
all the
needs to
sort
be
of, like,
better
stress.
communication. I feel like that's the way.
We need a space where sound engineers can speak freely.
Well, they do it to each other.
That's true.
But then I know when
it's like the staff room back in school.
Yeah.
Is there forums of this? Sound engineers.
sure there is.
I hate musicians.
But when I've done shows and stuff, and it's you could tell. I've always tried to make sure we were nice to sound engineers, because sometimes we've done shows where other artists have been not so nice, and they think they're hot property, and the sound engineers below them, when the sound engineers do a lot of work behind the scenes.
Sound
to try
engineers
and make
are
it good.
so important. Let's just hear it for sound engineers. Conor, this is for you and all of the other sound engineers who feel unheard.
I mean, like, I know I've just complained about it, but it's not. Like, these are little things because I get very irritated by little things.
Yeah.
These don't really, like, it doesn't matter if someone's going, oh no, my ears, after you make something's screech or whatever.
Yeah.
In sound check, but it is still irritating.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's not really kind of common knowledge per se to say a new band or a new artist or something. They don't obviously it's the whole topic of sound and what makes noise and feedback and all that. And if you don't know, obviously you're gonna think, oh, loud noise is bad, because you think, like, the way I always think about it, like, in films, when anytime anyone is supposed to be bad on the microphone, it'll make the feedback noise.
Yeah.
But that's not really how it works.
Yeah, say it, Adam.
It's just it's just a little movie magic trick to make you go, oh, they're playing really bad that the microphone's making noise. And it's like, that's not really how it works. But now, just because it's like,
maybe we need a masterclass. I feel like we need a masterclass about good sound checks. This is what I'm feeling needs to come out of this.
Yeah. At the end of the podcast, you can go through some steps that you want someone to come through. Yeah, you can release, like, please just know this. As the
I don't know. I'm not experienced
mic,
enough to be doing that. I don't think. I mean, like,
see, when you will be.
One day you can release Conor's guide to
not being irritated. Because it can be.
Because I remember
how not to irritate Conor.
Well, no, because I remember, I get told, I've been taught, like, bad practice and stuff of being like, oh, so when you're sound checking, you have the guitar sound slightly quieter than you want it to be, so that when after the sound check goes,
then
you turn it up, so you're louder.
It's naughty.
And in my head, I'm like,
it's naughty.
I'm supposed to work with the sound guy to make it sound good, not, sound louder, unless I'm having an ego battle with the rest of the band members.
I think people forget that you're, like, working with them.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be some sound engineers, I'm sure, who don't listen to what you want and just do what they want and what they think is good, which is wrong. But I think people do forget that they're just trying to help you, really.
Yeah.
A nice middle ground.
And they know what they're talking about. Like,
Well, most of the time.
And also just I feel like what you were saying, Ad, as well. Without getting too deep too quick, I do feel like it's about like respecting people's humanity, just being kind as like a base level, and then you're always gonna get a better like result if you're all just like listening and being kind. And now I sound like Jerry Springer, but you're too young to know.
I know Jerry.
Jerry Springer. Do you know
better.
Yeah, he's that American like Jeremy Kyle. No,
it's not Jeremy Kyle. Yeah.
Jeremy Kyle shit.
Yeah, he's like the pre Jeremy Kyle.
But he has like the fight scenes and everything.
Oh,
it's
God.
crazy. I used to watch when I was younger. Just like,
that's a whole discussion / rant for another day. That's a whole,
like, you are not the father. Yeah. Why are you so happy?
Yeah.
The kid's just looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
So overall, everyone's week's been good.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. I've heard on a great net that you guys had some meeting, or what was it?
Some secret meeting.
I wasn't in.
You were actually invited.
I was
you
invited.
Didn't reply to the email.
I just didn't see it.
Expose. Zico. We went and participated in a really cool event called Inclusive Practice in Action. So Adam, Conor and I and Abby, who is part of our ACT group at Pi. It was really fun. What was the place
Amnesty International.
Amnesty International. So
Did you have to go there?
Yeah, we got the train and everything.
And I didn't even know about.
Can I just say, train tickets are abominable. Just
Ridiculous.
As a side,
Yeah, I know.
Like £100 a person to get to London.
What?
Yeah.
Could have gone on holiday for that.
We could have, guys. We could have gone to.
I remember seeing something
Benidorm.
recently about like trains from like London to Manchester being like £300 and you can go on holiday for like that price.
Yeah.
But
I know, it's crazy.
Anyway, maybe we could talk about
Privatising-
that.
privatising rail station
The
aside.
cost of living is.
But was it like a day up there, or was it?
Yeah.
it was hosted
What time
by
did we leave?
Sound Connection, and we left at around 7, so we got there.
It was like a full day, wasn't it?
Started at 10 or something around there,
Yeah.
and like 10 till 5, something like that. Whole day,
Still crazy.
whole day event.
£100 for a day.
Yeah, I know.
If you deep it like that, I thought it was like a weekend,
Oh, no,
like maybe a couple,
We're
2
back to the
days.
cost.
Yeah.
£100 for just the train there and back. We did go on the fast train, but not first class. But yeah, so it was cool.
Nah, that's good though.
Yeah.
So what was it? What were they about?
Conor, give us a summary of why we were there.
I felt like it was to do with lots of things. Like inclusivity in music, I think, was like the name of the event. But it was lots of things really under that umbrella. It was talks from people who are from ethnic minorities, who are deaf, gay, people who aren't as well, talking about the music industry and the world generally, and feeling like you're part of a group or whatever is really special. And there's lots of barriers for that for different groups.
Yeah, and it's very important to show like light upon that, because they're issues, isn't it? But like, how did that benefit? What did you guys talk about to resolve the issues, or you just talking about the
I guess
differences?
So we were asked by Sound Connections, who put it on, to do a presentation in the kind of breakout groups part of it, because it was invited by, there was freelancers, there was people who were like part of like the school side of like, music, and just different part of the industry, kind of, the nuts and bolts of most of the, like architecture of like the industry stuff. So a lot of those people came along, and it was talking to those people about these different things that are around and need to be thought about. And we were asked to do a presentation for little breakout groups, and we decided to do one on well-being of staff, as well as obviously young people, but mainly the kind of correlation of how you should, our little part of it was to just talk about, making sure you have the well-being of your staff and everyone involved in your organization or whatever part of the industry you are at mind, like utmost important. So it was just a kind of place for everyone to talk about the real world issues that are affecting all these. I mean, it's not just it wasn't just a music, like really, like some of the guests that came in weren't just solely for music. So but it's just kind of, you know, show the real world implications of what has been happening, what's happening, but most importantly, what's being done to change it.
Yeah, and I guess like I found it really refreshing just how honest people were, because I've been to quite a lot of conferences over the years, and I feel like sometimes I'm a bit of a lone voice in being quite honest and vulnerable, but it's kind of the way I've always preferred to relate to people. And in this conference, like from the moment we got in, people were just honestly talking about like the racism they faced, honestly talking about just the barriers to, for example, disabled musicians accessing industry stuff, and just talking about it from their own perspective in their own words and really authentically. So not like, do you know what I mean? Just like saying their own story properly.
Yeah, not trying to like
not trying to be professional about it.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
but,
no, really, like genuinely
saying
like this is how difficult it's been, and this is what's kept me going, or this is what I'm still struggling with.
But is it shocking though, like to find out the stories behind it, or?
I think for me, I feel like,
or could you always tell something was about like the industry in that sense? Like,
I think I wasn't shocked about, like, for example, hearing about the racism in the music industry. I wasn't shocked. But that's partly because I've done a bit of learning about that, because I realised that I just didn't know enough about that, because it hasn't been my experience as a white person. But there was other areas where I was like, man, I don't know about that, and I need to learn more about that. So, for example, hearing Paul Whitaker talking about his experience as a deaf person in the music industry was really interesting to me, and it made me think, man, I need to learn more about that. But even though it wasn't shocking, as in like we all know these things exist, it was really impactful hearing people's honest story. So it wasn't just like a statistic or a sort of like,
they didn't say some buzzwords.
It wasn't, it wasn't all jargon. It was like, no, actually, this is what it has been like for me. And then I don't know, I feel like it connects people more when people are like that honest. So I did appreciate that.
But yeah, but it did feel like everyone was on the same page, or as in like, you know, everyone really did understand that there is still issues, and there's still issues that haven't been tackled as much as, like, you know, the mass news of it all would say per se. So like, even it was stuff like when it came to the classical music side of things, I remember the kind of like the question being asked of you, like if you notice, like if you watch like BBC's Prom Night and stuff, you will still notice that it is just still predominantly white orchestras, or obviously then predominantly like black orchestras and stuff like that, but with it that being the kind of them having to start up themselves because they've been segregated from like in the mainstream sense. And you know, that was someone's bold, but not even bold statement, just true statement that happens. And obviously someone who doesn't know much about like the classical musical side of things, or you know, or I'm able to like compare that to stuff that I've seen in the industry and everyone else. But yeah, so like still showing that there are still issues that need to be tackled, and it's not, you know, it's not just it's a constant fight for, you know, for good.
See, with things like that, it's all well and good that we discuss about it, because by discussing we can have better viewpoints and understanding of everyone's situation. But it's like, how do we stop it from carrying on?
Yeah,
that's something what's always stuck with me, because we know there's problems in the world, but our world is like driven by money and stuff in it. So we don't really focus on like the problems if it's not beneficial in a money sense. So then, what do you think from listening to everyone's stories from there that you can do, or anyone can do to help?
Yeah.
I know it's a hard question.
No, I think it's like the most important question. And actually in the audience of this conference, someone asked that question in the big audience and were like, do you think, like, how do we actually change this? Like, and then in our like little breakout session, someone asked us that question as well. They were like, it's all very well and good if us as like individual organisations are sort of chipping away, but do we honestly think things can change? And how are they going to change? And I guess I feel like the thing I'm learning most about is rather than seeing all of these different marginalised groups and injustices as like separate things that take attention away from each other, I'm starting to realise that we have to work together to get a more just and kind world, rather than seeing it as, oh, if we concentrate on this, then we're forgetting this. Do you know what I mean? Like actually seeing it as actually the only way forward is if we get together. So for example, like let's think about East Kent, let's think about Thanet for a minute. Let's think about the racism here, and let's also think about the stuff that's challenging for the LGBTQ community. Let's also think about poverty. Like, let's think about all of it and like bring the different organisations and the different people who can really bring us expertise in those different things, but fight together. That's my initial thought, like working together. I don't know about you folk. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I agree, but that's what I thought, like stuff like what we part of, I thought is the way forward. People came to that wanting to learn, and they went there and they learned different experiences and all technically evidence, quotation marks up in the air, of how like it does work. Because obviously where we talked about, like we talked about Pi, and other places talked about their organisations and what they've been doing, and you know, they're still going, so they're showing that it does work, and it is, you know, even in that, you know, money sense of like, you know, sustainable and all, you know, the key buzzwords. There were a few people from like, you know, there was heads of like councils and like, you know, stuff there, so there were those type of people there, and obviously they came there and everyone was saying what was happening, what's being done, and the evidence to prove it. So I think that it's clearly happening because it was a packed building.
How many people roughly do you think?
500?
Something like that.
Is that way above what you think? I'm such
I think it was probably less than
like what, 50?
maybe 100. I don't know.
Let's say 250.
I'll
So
say
500 to 50 to 250.
Yeah, no, I would say it was because Amnesty International, you know, it's because it was like it was a hall, then it was sort of different
But with
breakaways.
these
What
like
I'm gonna
big
do is-
organisations though.
Well, can I just say, when this is edited, I'm going to get Buddy to actually splice in the exact capacity so we know how wrong I was. Carry on.
Okay.
Thank you, Steph. Hi, this is producer Buddy Peace. Just thought I'd chip in with some necessary facts about the Amnesty International building. The address is the Human Rights Action Centre, which is in New Inn Yard, London. And so the capacity, we're looking at about between 50 and 250. So, I mean, everyone was right, really. And time and audience capacity is all relative. So, everyone was right. And now, back to your hosts.
So were these like big older organizations, would you say, or they're like random local people who are interested about the change?
I might have a delegate list. There was some really interesting people, but
What is
mostly
delegate?
organisations.
Yeah, it was all kind of organisations from kind of far and wide, and again different aspects. Like, you know, we were asked to do a speak, and we're just we're a youth centre and a charity in Thanet. And, you know, then there was
a really cool organisation sitting in front of us who we're going to do like a little road trip to go and see. They're called ML Community Enterprises from Brixton, and they were brilliant. They do youth work and music and seem like a bit of kindred spirits with us at Pi. And they were like, do you want to come to Brixton and we can like make a track, and we want to come to Ramsgate, to Margate. So there was like people like that, so kind of similar organisations to Pi, and then like heads of music services for the whole of a county. There was and also all over England, people have travelled quite
and
far.
there was like kind of people more like the like therapy sides and kind of, you know, like
music therapists. And freelancers as well. So there's people that do like freelance music workshops.
The head of a gospel choir.
Oh yeah, Basil Mead from London Community Gospel Choir. He was there and he was brilliant. Yeah, he did a really cool.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a one section.
Yeah, it was
little
quite
kind of. It was
interesting.
the whole talk was a very. I mean, should we get Connor's thoughts on it? Because obviously
what
we
stood out
had
to
a bit
you,
more
Connor?
behind the scenes knowledge of what we were getting into. But
Yeah, well, you guys set up the presentation. I participated, but I wasn't part of the creation of it. But going to the event, like, I wasn't sure what it was particularly going to be like because I've never been to anything like it. But it was really interesting. I thought there was some really good speakers. My favourite is it Lisa Cherry?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed hearing her talk about like schools and about people being excluded from schools and whatever. That was really interesting. Not that everybody else wasn't, but I found that specifically quite interesting. But to talk about
Well, how comes you find that interesting? Like, what was
well, like what
was she talking about? Because I wasn't there.
Yeah, so it was about
wasn't there.
so people from like broken homes or people who have learning disabilities or from marginalized backgrounds at school. The system, it doesn't aim to help people. It aims to, if you're doing something wrong, they don't try and correct that. They just try and punish that, basically. And so because of how the school system works, it pushes out anyone who's having any hardships at home because they're not supporting anyone. And so basically that means people who are from these homes are actually it's not because they're from broken backgrounds that people end up having harder times in the future. It's also to do with the not getting the support before then from the schools and from work probably as well. And she was mainly talking from her perspective about being from like a foster home, I think. But it's a kind of quite a broad thing, and I found that really interesting. And she's also talking about how music and the arts aren't funded in schools. And how they're quite helpful for things like this because they inspire and creativity, and there's lots of kids who probably won't engage very well with English or maths but might engage a lot more with music. Well, there was actually someone else who's talking about really young kids engaging with music and showed a video of some kids, I don't know, drumming on some drum.
Oh, that was so cute. It was so sweet.
But it's like showing that it's a lot more than just learning things for the sake of learning things
and following a curriculum,
and
how
how schools should be changed, like from higher up, not just like to support people. I mean, like, I know that even from my school, and my school was quite bad for it. They couldn't handle. They didn't try and support kids who had any disabilities. They just give you detentions. And like I know someone who was in my year who ended up leaving the school, and he was still getting emails from the school saying he's getting detentions even after he left the school and stuff like that. And not that I was particularly like close with him, but he had ADHD and other stuff, and it's just interesting that
very.
Or like my brother, even he's not in school anymore because he's got anxiety and depression and stuff, and he's homeschooled. And so it's interesting to see. Like God, if I get into schools, I really hate schools.
The system needs
it needs an entire change about, and that's what was spoken about.
Yeah.
Like it was like
it needs proper systemic change.
The whole thing
way
needs,
through.
and the topics of.
But that's why it's like that, because it's supposed to be like that. It's not like designed to.
It's not designed for like connection with people or like.
It's designed for you to become a worker.
Yeah.
It's like we give you that. Everyone's going to learn to a certain degree, and then we're going to chuck you out into the world to become.
Well, then the schools are trying to follow the rules that they've been given of what they are deemed as successful, and then by that point, you then have to cut music and arts, even though you then just kind of
you seemingly have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, in the sense
that's what it's seen as
some,
like an
not all
easy,
schools, but there's quite a few.
It's like an option. Like when you have to go into like year 10, year 11, you have to choose your options.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have, like, for example, when I was in Sandwich Technology School, I wanted to do music, but there was not enough people to do that class because only like 7 people, and then you did like 4 more people.
I had the exact same thing.
So then it was just like drama, and then
didn't even have that. I wanted to do drama and I wanted to do music, and both got cuts. So I had to do IT and business. That was that was the compromise.
So close to me.
Yeah, so close. Yeah, but they spoke about that, and I remember you were saying about like anxiety and stuff, and like it came up, and everyone's like, we all have to come to terms with we are also in a mental health epidemic right now as well.
But I feel like social media and stuff like that gives us the problems in what we indulge ourselves. But
it's also the case that we know what the problems are, and there's a lot of problems that at this point seem like they can be stopped or prevented, but now even at such an early stage of care and support, like a school's supposed to be part of the care system of progressing a young person, but it feels like it just places like us, like Pi, and social work stuff that are doing a lot of the work. Like I know it's a saying you like to say that you got someone else, obviously, like as a charity we should work ourselves out of a job and stuff, and that's that it, like we shouldn't have to feel like there has to be outside support from like is in the system, and the country should have this all kind of figured out.
Because in reality the government is there for us. Like we give the government the power to like actually govern us as a community to what we want, but then it's like the reality is more about profit and gain or capital gain.
Yeah, and that's why the whole event showed how it all the different stuff comes back to people's well-being. You know, racism like affects people's well-being,
and that's the beauty of music and creative arts, because it brings you together depending on wherever you've come from. Like, even if you ever been on holiday or you've gone on the radio station and then it's gone all to a different place in the world and you start French music, because it happens sometimes. Like you're like, oh, bonjour, like, whoa, it's like quite nice. So like, music doesn't have any,
it does bring people together.
It doesn't have any restriction.
There's no boundary
on what level it can bring you together. So I feel like we definitely need to reevaluate music in everyone's day-to-day. And definitely understand what the frequency size of it.
Can I just say one thing, just going back to the school thing before we kind of get into the next thing? I guess I just really want to say, like, just a big up to teachers, because I think, the system sucks and there's a lot of things that need to change. But at the same time, I've met some of the most incredible people who've like devoted their life to trying, even within the current system. And just want to make sure people aren't hearing us like slagging off teachers.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there was a lot of teachers and stuff.
Yeah, there was teachers there saying the same thing. Like, we're trying to change. Actually, there was one lady who was sitting next to me who she was like, I want to start my own early years school, preschool, and it's all going to be around music and the arts. And actually, big shout out to Arts Education Exchange as well, because they're like exploring, basically setting up a school with this sort of ethos right at the heart. And I feel like that's what we need.
Like it is happening. That's the thing. It's not like it's not happening. It is starting and it's happening. And the events we went to showed that, and it's higher up. It's trying to get higher up.
Like you were saying, people that the decision makers to actually listen to what people on the ground are saying. The system doesn't work and people are overstretched and underfunded, and that's youth work, that's social work, that's school, that's the NHS.
But and look at the
But that's the thing, what I'm trying to say, the system does work for the people that it's created for. Because if you think about it, some people go to privileged schools and they have the best outcomes because of the system, and the system which is in place for them to have that outcomes is there.
That's a really good point.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, with school, we need to like ditch the whole
I think there's a new way. I think there has to be another way.
Yeah, because you can definitely learn stuff like online now. It's just you have to be determined to learn.
Yeah.
We need to learn determination, because we're all like, I find in myself, being a young guy, that I start stuff but I don't really finish it, and I feel like everyone does, because we go through hurdles. But if we learn to be determined with everything we put ourselves towards, then we will achieve way much more as a community than just starting and stopping and then being like, oh yeah, that was good, and then waiting for someone to start something, or waiting for the conversation to actually be seen. So being determined for something to actually have change. I feel like a good example would be protests or riots in some case, because you have to break the law to change the law. But then how the world is going is like, they want to stop you from even getting to that point to change the law or change anything.
Yeah, I think people in this country especially are too complacent and will complain.
Comfort zones.
For forever about what's wrong, but we'll never do anything, or we'll complain and it'll keep getting worse, but they won't realise. And this is like, I know Steph brought up teachers and schools, and what I took from the conference was that it's like the problem is with the higher ups, but the people who will change that aren't them, it's the people from lower. So like, what I'd say for teachers and people in schools in this example, or anyone in other businesses, it's those people that need to not stand for it. There are too many people, especially in England, who are happy to just do what they're told, even if because they're too scared to not. And like, I don't know, in my opinion, with lots of things, you can't just be like, oh, I guess that's just how it is.
That's life.
That's
kind of.
I hate that.
That mentality
is
irritating.
You have to have beliefs and stick by them, even if sometimes you're wrong, but you'll learn from that.
But that's why I thought it was such a fresh air to go to something like that and see everyone in agreement with that, and also like showing it works as well. That's what I got out of it, that we all were in the same cause, we're all doing it, and we're all showing the positive, effects of it.
It was encouraging.
And that's what music bring you together.
I think
we have to find a common ground to change something. So music should be our common ground.
Music and joy. And I feel like there's something about I can get quite serious about stuff, like quite passionate and intense about stuff because I care so much. And I feel like there's also a level of you have to find your own like joy and happiness to have the stamina to keep coming up against this stuff. So I think there's also a place for just like fun. And that's part of why I've always wanted that to be at the centre of Pi. Not only because I feel like it's a bit of a resistance to a system that just like knocks the fun out of everything. Like, let's find ways of like doing this and loving life and being happy and being well. Like not making ourselves ill, trying to fight a system that feels like it's sucking the life out of you, but actually just showing people there's another way to live and we're going to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that ended weird.
It's especially it's with music though, especially is that people don't. Music's seen as not a real job by lots of people, when actually it's probably one of the most intense jobs you can have.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever switch off from it.
Yeah.
It's not like a job where you go 9 to 5 and you're done. It's like no matter what part of it you're on, and it's the same with all arts and lots of other jobs that I'm probably glazing over because I don't know of them. But you are always thinking about it. You're always thinking how to change it, and you can't not be doing that because otherwise you won't have your job because that's part of it, the creative process. So it kind of becomes your life basically.
And a country that gets a lot of benefit from how much music and art, just all arts in general, come out of this country, but how little they benefit the most marginalized. And they don't put anything back into it to kind of help or understand, but they'll reap the benefits of people working so passionately about
I think we need like a football analogy for some people. It's like
I'm not the person to.
Everyone's looking at me like, don't you dare stoop to that level. Okay, this isn't the right crowd. I'll stop.
No, keep on doing it. Do it. Let's see if you
We can try and do it. I'm saying I'm not
so proud of me.
Football's not my thing.
I was going to say that Arsenal and Chelsea, I'm going to put two of them in there so I don't get slaughtered online. They're quite well known for being for their community work, and it's like expecting a football team on that level to keep producing incredible players without investing in community grassroots football. And I think it's that sort of thing, and that's the sort of language most people understand in any whatever it is, whether it's football, whether it's music, whether it's you have to invest in young people. You can't expect like culture to change unless you are. And I'll stop talking about Arsenal and Chelsea. And
but I get what you're saying, but that's what the government do already, though. They invest in us to fail, so then they can become more of a gap. If you invest in someone's downfall and their downfall is more due to their climate is more of a probability, then that's what you see our system was at hand.
I know.
Everything
and then blame shifting, like turning it on. Whether that's xenophobia, like let's blame asylum seekers, for example. Let's blame whatever group.
All the foreigners are coming over. So then you all you blame all that hatred that you build up within yourself, and then just like.
But we're seeing that mentality and that idea like slowly keep not working because there's evidence and there's proof that things are getting better, and there is and things are improving for good, and people are like being on the ball with it and wanting to change and do stuff about it, and it's more prominent now than it ever has been that the good fight is happening, and people are doing it, and also not exhausting themselves in it as well.
I heard a thing saying that the revolution will never be televised.
As Gil Scott Heron would say.
Hello.
Oh, I believe I said it right.
That's good. That's good reference, lads.
Yeah.
Which means
Can you say it again?
Well, the revolution will never be televised.
Yeah, and what do you take from that?
From that means it has to be an internal thing that we have to do. Like it's a consciousness. Like when we all are conscious about our individual play towards a bigger scale, then we can abolish all the bad things and we can live within happiness. It's like if you're conscious enough that you wouldn't like that to be done to you, you wouldn't do that to someone else. So then you're happy to other people. You're like, you spread the joy. There's no reason for you not to.
And so actually someone said a similar thing at the conference about, I think it was Lisa Cherry again. She was talking about how we may get overwhelmed with the amount of work there is to do in the whole of the world and the whole of society. But what we are very much able to do is every interaction we have, be able to see the humanity in every person we see and be able to like change that person's day, even just a little bit. And I guess that's what we got to try and hold on to when we're like talking about all this big stuff that feels a bit overwhelming.
And that's the thing with our ego, innit? Because
Yeah.
if you see someone like, for example, so if you live in Ramsgate, you may see people who are very much drug users. You see how effective that can, like some people don't even acknowledge them. So you have to really understand what's left them to that point and where society has left them. Like we have to stop having a alter ego, like don't acknowledge them, like saying hello and seeing if they're right.
Yeah.
It's such a easy thing to do, like if you ain't rushing, just because you're rushing to go home, but
Yeah.
the sad reality is that they don't have any place to rush towards.
Yeah.
So a little hi and hope you have a nice
Yeah.
day can really mean instead of just getting walked and blanked.
I wonder like how much that would change the world, like if all of us just started to see people,
Say hello.
like properly see people and just say like notice people and not feel better than people.
Because it's nice when you're walking. Say if you have a dog or something, and someone's
Have you got a
walking.
dog, Zico?
Nah. But say if you walk.
Say if you did,
Say
what
if
dog
I had a
would you
dog.
have?
I don't know. I had one of them. I have
A little
big dogs, like scary dogs, or one of the cute ones. No in
Yeah,
between.
let's picture Zico with a cute little dog.
Cute little dog, yeah. Little chihuahua.
You got a chihuahua.
Chihuahuas are so.
Ah, all
They
dogs
look like
are great.
rats,
All
fam.
animals are great. Rats are
We've
even
just
better.
alienated all dog lovers.
Nah, all dogs are great. And rats
Anyway,
are great
so
too.
carry on with what you're saying. Say you were walking with your chihuahua.
Say I was walking with my chihuahua. We call him Fluffy. And then you say hello to someone who walks past.
Yeah.
And that's such a simple thing, but can either really mean something, innit? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just a little good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
You right? Yeah. It feels nice because back in school, if you saw one of your friends, you'd be like, hi. You right? And then you just carry on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
we should
'cause-
try, maybe that should be our little challenge for the like the weeks following this podcast. Just let's start saying hi to people.
Yeah, treat everyone equally.
Is there an introvert version of that? Because I'm aware me and Zico are quite extroverted, and that's like that's our dream world.
Smile.
Smile. What is there an
So
introvert version?
I guess you can also do the nod as well.
Little nod.
You know.
How do you feel about a nod, Connor?
I've been like,
I know. I know.
Connor's rolling his eyes.
I just like, I'm not, I think it's a nice idea.
Okay.
And I think I wouldn't be, like, if someone said hello to me, I'd just be like, why are they saying hello to me? It's so weird. But like, I wouldn't be offended by it. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be a
okay.
horrible
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Like, it's still
So
a nice
what would
thing
you
that
like?
you'd be.
Would you
It's
first
a good
of all?
morning, innit?
Yeah.
Good afternoon is a
Like,
way
if
more
I was,
than
for
hello.
example, if I was walking my dog.
Yeah. What dog have you got? We need to.
I've got a
picture it.
cockapoo.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't even know what that is.
It's
really cute. I'll show you a
spaniel and a
picture.
poodle. I can show you a picture afterwards. But people, anyway, dog walkers actually are quite like that.
That's true.
They are very like, good morning, because they have the common thing of walking the dog.
Yeah.
But let's say I was just walking about myself and someone said good morning to me, I'd be a bit more like, oh yeah, good morning. But like, I think hello, I'd just be like, what do you want?
Okay,
I
so
don't
it's
have any-
actually what we say. We
you know,
need to practice this,
I think-
Zico.
Or like, just being nice to people when you do have to have the
When you have an
interactions.
interaction.
Yeah, I don't think it's like necessarily to go out of your way to randomly talk to some person.
Just going down
This
every
is
high
an
street.
introvert's nightmare. Leave me alone.
Well, I think the point that's kind of come out is how like it's the communal thing for dog walkers because it's like
We
it's
have
the tribe
something in
thing.
common.
Oh, you have a dog, I have a dog. Hello. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
the same thing. You know, like delivery drivers for like food things. They give each other nods and honk their horns at each other, and like bus drivers
Yeah.
do the same. I think it's then
I
it's
love bus
basically
drivers.
just turning the communal
weird.
like tribalism just to everyone.
In
We're all
wider, we're all part of
the
it.
tribe of the human
The
race.
human race tribe.
you know.
As well, like working in customer service, you get lots of people who come in and are just rude to you.
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
true.
Obviously, you put on your customer service voice and have to be nice to them.
Go
even
on,
if they're horrible.
do your voice, Connor.
I always say hiya, but I don't say that ever in my life. I'm always like,
That's
oh,
amazing.
hiya.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
like,
Yeah.
I don't say that to anyone ever,
No,
but I do
that's
it when I'm
facts.
doing that. But some people, when they're really nice to you, it's nice. It's like at least you're putting in some effort and like being nice back to me.
Nice
Yeah.
like a small chat.
Yeah, it's like well,
Just
there's
be
no reason
kind.
to be horrible to someone
Yeah.
who's just doing a job.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
So like I think like I try to at least when if I go into Tesco and I can't go to the self-service.
Other supermarkets available.
Oh yeah, so like this is just my example. Yeah, not just completely beep it out. No endorsement. It's not sponsored.
If you want to give us some funding, you're very welcome to.
Yeah, if Tesco wants
Mr.
to
Tesco.
sponsor us.
Just lower down the mill doors. Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by the Club Card.
But yeah, like just like you're buying something from anywhere, just like, oh yeah, how are you? It's like good. Thanks, have a good day, and that's it. That's all you need, really. I think personally, that's my take.
That's
on it.
helpful. I think it is helpful, isn't it? Because different personality types, it might be not helpful, and it's worth just bearing that in mind.
You can tell if someone's being nice, even when they don't like. It's not the words. It's not
Yeah, that's true.
It's just how people,
But it's also like being open to people being nice as well.
Yeah.
It's like, say you're in a nightclub, boom, 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 the music is banging, yeah. There's this guy who's heavily intoxicated. Like, you're right, mate. Yeah. And then it changes the whole dynamic of the same thing that we say. But if you just appreciate someone saying you're right, then you have a nice conversation with that guy, and then you just leave. You don't have to be like, yeah, I'm not too bad, you're right. Like, yeah, it's just appreciating it.
Yeah, it's openness, I guess, isn't it?
I think as an introvert, I just get nervous about if someone talks to me that they're gonna want something from me, or they want to talk to me for a long period of time. And like whenever I'm going anywhere, I walk quite fast, and I usually want to get somewhere and get on with it. Like, I'm not against people being like, if I was out at and I don't really do it, so I can't really say. If I was at a club, which I'm not planning on doing, and someone said hello to me and was being nice to me, and it'd be all right. And it's the same with, but it's like an example, like if I'm on the train back from London, like the last train, and there's some drunk man who comes and sits at your table and starts talking to you. That's not the thing I'm like you want.
No,
like even if they are being perfectly nice, it's like, I'm on the train home. Just leave me alone. I don't want to be spoken to. Like you can say hello and sit down. That's fine. But
respect people's boundaries.
Respect people's boundaries as well.
But you also have to state your boundaries. I feel like that's the one thing.
How do you state your boundaries?
Sorry, I don't want to talk to you right now.
You should have a little placard.
Even like that.
Open for conversation. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I suppose you
even
could,
like, sorry, I'm not trying to talk right now. I'm just trying to have a nice peaceful journey.
Yeah.
And then if they don't respect that, then you can be disrespectful, I guess.
I mean, like, I wouldn't ever be disrespectful. Yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying, innit? It's always nice to just appreciate it and then be like, yeah, maybe today is not the day,
Yeah,
I
that's
just found
fair
out
enough.
that my hamster died from a Hoover. Yeah, I'm not really trying to talk to anyone.
Is this personal experience?
All of these examples have animals, and I'm really loving that.
See, I just don't have.
Can we have
pets.
a lamb example just to bring it back to the lamb? What would you do if you walk? Okay, if you
That would
saw.
be such a flex though. Just be like, what are you doing? I'm walking my lamb.
I want to. That's the answer to all of this. We just all need pet lambs.
We all need pet lambs.
The lambs.
Yeah, but I swear they eat stuff like sofas and like, they just eat
You're
your
making that up. How do you know that?
movies.
As I said earlier, about like the feedback soundbite. You know, movies make stuff up all the time.
You need to do some sheep research.
Yeah.
You're giving sheep a hard time. They're really cute.
Have you
Shaun
seen
the sheep, man? Like, mischievous. You can't have them in the house.
Have you seen the video of the guy walking his emu about some city centre?
I've seen that. I've seen that. Oh, no,
I mean, I don't think the people. I think the people are driving past and they shout something at the car at them.
Yeah,
but like it's quite funny.
I mean, I did see someone walk a goat down Ramsgate Town years back. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of, yeah.
I feel like it's against the law somewhere. I can't lie.
What, having a goat?
Or having like animals like that just freely like under your possession. Because if I
think you must have to have a license for certain.
Because see me, if I could, I wouldn't have an electric scooter. I would have a horse. I'd just be bopping everywhere with a horse.
I want to see this.
That would be so majestic, and my hair just.
Oh, please make a music video. If you want a horse, I'll make that happen.
I used to do horse riding as well.
So did I.
I used to enjoy it until that horse canted one time, and I wasn't expecting it. I had a crisp packet of Walker's prawn cocktails, sponsored me. But yeah, it heard it and it got all frightened, and I was holding on for dear life. I was like, damn, never again touching a horse until I get one.
Yeah, well, that's one of my dreams. I want to own a horse one day.
They're expensive though.
They're really expensive.
I don't understand.
And you basically need to devote your life to it. So I'm not quite there yet, but that would be a dream.
A robot horse.
Oh no, real.
We've already
real
had this conversation on the way to the first podcast recording.
Did you? Robot horse?
Yeah,
We did have this conversation. I remember this
saying
now.
why haven't why have we made cars and not just made horses faster, basically?
Well, we could tell this is a very personal topic of yours.
I don't know. It's
We
just
need to
subconsciously
explore
in the
this.
back of my mind.
We could delve in
Oh,
at some
dear.
point if it's, is it?
I will make an invention that will change the genes so they don't run out of breath. And then
They did do this, and it became cars. That's what
Yeah,
happened. They realised that they
that's
needed
damaging
something.
the environment.
Yeah, that's
I love
true.
Nemo. Do you love Nemo? Do you love
do.
Nemo?
I
Say
do,
it deeply
yeah.
inside the mic.
Nemo.
Nemo.
I do love
What, the
Nemo.
fish?
Yes, the fish.
What are you talking about now?
Save Nemo.
Why?
I think it's just
Save the
saving
fish.
animals in
Oh,
general.
okay.
It's just
Exactly.
trying to use
Yeah, but I think if we're-
old childhood films as a.
Genetically modifying horses, I don't know how...
Yeah, I feel like
Saving
the
them, that
ethics
is.
of that are quite questionable. Before we carry on with the Saving Nemo, do you think we should let people go home and carry on doing their daily life and maybe finish?
Yeah, but I think this has shown that you can spitball an idea to the most extreme and higher up kind of issues, but we showed that
You
it's
have
so,
to
it's
come
so
back
simple.
to-
But it's also so simple to just be nice to people.
Yeah.
And that's where the presentation and what we've been talking about just kind of,
Just be
it is a
kind.
big fight, a big challenge, but you can do the most simplest thing of just respecting people, and that,
Yeah.
solves most things like respecting horses and lambs and
Nemo.
and Nemo.
Thank you, Adam,
Oh,
for bringing us back from
all right.
that weird place.
Yeah, and guys, don't forget to send us stuff that you might have been doing, like
Yeah.
nice little things that you've done or seen
Or
around you.
emus that you've seen down High Street. What's the weirdest thing
Yeah.
you've seen down on High Street? Send us that.
Be kind and say hi to people.
But also,
What's the weirdest animal you've seen?
Don't just video random people because I don't like it.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
Say hello to them and ask them if you can video them first.
Hi, can I video you?
No, but that
The
happens
people
in
from
London,
Pi
though.
told
Yeah,
me
oh,
to.
one time
pretty
it
sure.
was in Whitstable and two random people just came up to me. It's like, can I take a picture with you?
Oh, that's weird.
It's like, why? Is it because I was so tall? They were tourists. But I
Oh,
was like,
that's a bit weird.
I was like,
That's
no.
horrible. Yeah, good for you.
it's like, well, no, it's because they were quite short. I think it's just, well, it's just a big.
Mum, look, I find big people.
Yeah, well, on that note, it's been a great podcast, guys. It'd be nice to talk
Yes,
to you.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
That's okay, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Your debut.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Oh,
hope
thank you.
I hope you have a great birthday and you
Oh,
get and you get what
yeah.
you wished for.
Yeah.
We all do.
This
We
is-
can't wait to hear
I can't.
what you're going to have on the next
surprise
episode.
will be great.
We'll have you just come in and tell us what you got for your birthday.
And I just walk
With no
back out.
context.
Yeah.
Our call to action, in case you didn't hear it, is just try and be nice to people, but also respect their boundaries.
I
But
love
be
it.
nice as well. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Pie Factory Music is a youth charity in East Kent that gives young people access to creative opportunities and a community of support. Find us at piefactorymusic.com and on social media at Pie Factory Music. This podcast has been produced by Buddy Peace and generously supported by Ramsgate Radio.